Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the What Do I Know podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Davis. Just an average fan talking all ball all the time. And oh man, we have so much stuff to get into today. We have NBA playoffs starting this weekend. How important is the seeding in the Western Conference? Something that's really crucial. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into the list of the most overrated players in the NBA. You'll hear my thoughts on that. But before we get into both of those, I want to start with last night. The Virginia Cavaliers went against the Texas Tech Red Raiders for the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. And Virginia came out with the win. Congratulations to them for a good postseason run, especially after last year losing to a 16th seed in the first round. And then to come back and win a championship is big. Let me say this, I did pick them to win the championship. I just thought that their defense was just going to show out, which it did. Texas Tech is a very good team. Congrats to them for making it that far. The game was really good. It was probably one of the best games within like the last 4 or 5 years for sure. It was back and forth. Both teams came to play. The first about 10 minutes did not look good at all. It was a defensive struggle. But once teams got the nerves out and started playing, then the game got really good. You could see why both teams made it. Their defense was just amazing. Jared Culver for the Texas Tech Red Raiders probably had the worst game of his career. I think he was 8 of 20 something, or 8 or 9, something like that. He couldn't do anything. DeAndre Hunter, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC, came out on both ends and really changed the game. 27 points, career high 27 points for DeAndre Hunter. Defensively made Jared Culver work for every bucket he got. But I think the thing that's going to stand out in this game is instant replay. I think the implementation of instant replay, how they use it, is just terrible. In any normal basketball game that I've ever seen, that I've ever played in, that I've ever coached, anytime someone hits the ball out and it's clear that they hit the ball out, it should just be a play on. It should just be, the team takes the ball out of bounds and then go from there. Texas Tech, even though I feel like it was the right call, but the fact that you have to slow it down frame by frame just to catch that, it's just too much. Especially since it's not an obvious 100% call. You have to side with the offensive team. You have to. As much as I loved that it was the right call, I also would have loved to see Texas Tech get one more shot, get one more opportunity to tie the ball game or to go up in the ball game. But we're not going to get to see that. Instant replay, when it was implemented correctly, I think helps the sport so much. But when you have to replay every single possession, I feel like there's no trust in the refs. I feel that you got to let that call go. You see the offensive player dribbling down, the defensive player hits the ball out. You got to let that call go, especially in such a big moment. But it was such a great game. Ty Jerome played very well. The team, Kyle Guy, of course, was stroking the ball. But they played very good defense. They played together. Texas Tech, man, they fought their hearts out. and their players were balling as well. That's why I said it was just a great game all around. It sucks that, Texas doesn't get to see a national championship. The last national championship they had was Texas Western in like the 60s. So that would have been cool, for that to come back to Texas. But it is what it is. Overall, I really did enjoy the game from start to finish. Like I said, the first couple of minutes was a defensive stalwart. No team could get a bucket, but I just attribute that to nerves. But very good game. Now, some of these players are going to be gone, so we'll see how their title defense is next year. But congratulations to them for coming back and making, the biggest turnaround as far as losing to a 16 seed the year before to winning a championship. Next thing I want to get into is the list of overrated players in the NBA. So there was an anonymous poll, and they took, MVP votes. They took most overrated player. They took who's the greatest of all time. 120 anonymous players. Anonymous. And for overrated, there were two players who were tied for first on that list. And that was Russell Westbrook and Draymond Green. Now, let me say this. Underrated and overrated is not a negative thing. Overrated and underrated really just depends on what you're looking for. So let me start with Russell Westbrook. Is Russell Westbrook a top player in the game? Yes. Is he overrated for what he's done in the playoffs? Where he's gotten his team in the playoffs? Definitely.
What?
Is he an overrated player? No. But he is overrated in the sense of, with all of that talent, he has not been able to get out the first round without Kevin Durant. Averaging a triple-double is cool. Like, I have no problem with it. 3 straight years, I think is actually an amazing feat. But he's a stat patter. I mean, every NBA player is a stat patter, but you can see him going for a triple-double. You can see that. The beginning of the year, he really, when he was deferring to Paul George, trying to make the right play, I think that's when he was at his best. But if you watch him now, or have been watching him since the All-Star break, he's really, really, really been going for the triple-double. So maybe now that he's averaged a triple-double for 3 straight years, maybe he'll play differently in the playoffs. He'll play more of a team. But if you watch him play, he does go for the triple-double. His teammates do clear out to let him get the rebound. He does hold the ball just so he can get the assist. So I can see why people would call him overrated. I definitely understand. But he's not overrated. He's just overrated for what's expected of him. Now, Draymond Green, on the other hand, he's definitely overrated. He is in the perfect system for his skill set. He plays with the 2 best shooters of all time. Now, his numbers may have went down when KD got there because he was, of course, the 4th option. But even before KD got there, he was averaging like 8 points, like 10 rebounds, or 8 or 9 rebounds, 7, 8 assists. I mean, that's cool. But he's overrated in the sense of he wants to get this ridiculous contract. But I don't think he could be a number 2 option on the team, let alone a number 1 option. I think he's a great complementary player. I think as a third option, as you know, a third option in the right system, he could really do some things. But if you have to ask him to score, then no. But he will do all of the little things. He'll play defense. He'll get scrappy. He'll rebound. Things like that. But he's definitely an overrated player. Underrated in the sense of if he was not on the Warriors, they probably wouldn't have won. But as a player, he's definitely overrated. But one person that I wish I would have seen on this list, and I know people are going to be upset or whatever, I really don't care. One person I would have loved to see on this list is Andrew Wiggins. Lord have mercy. You want to talk about overrated for sure. His last college game, he scored 7 points, and somehow he's a top draft pick. He has not improved since he's been in the league. He can score, I got it. He doesn't do nothing else on the floor. It was like 2 or 3 years where he were at the very bottom of the defensive efficiency. Very, very bottom. Only person worse for like a year was Isaiah Thomas. Celtics Isaiah Thomas. I just don't understand what people see in Andrew Wiggins. I don't know. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I don't hate him. But I don't like him, and not as a person, but I don't like his game. And everybody also said, another person on the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns. I love Karl Anthony Towns. He's a great player. He can score from the post. He can drive to the basket. He can shoot the long ball. Will he ever be able to win as a number one option? Probably not. But it's a lot of people who can't win as a number one option. Anthony Davis can't win as a number one option. Which brings me to another point. Another overrated player, I think. Anthony Davis. Great talent. Can't win. He can't win. He's always injured. And this is a guy who could possibly be the best player in the NBA. But people are right. He's not a winner. He can't be your number one option and you win. He's had good complementary players around him. And he's never been able to win. Drew Holiday is a good point guard. He has size. He plays defense. He can score. He had DeMarcus Cousins, but DeMarcus Cousins got hurt before they got to the playoffs. He's had Rajon Rondo. Great point guard in his day. Buddy Hield. He's had enough pieces to win. To get to the playoffs. I don't know. It might just be me. But I just don't understand. I mean, and I love him. I love Anthony Davis. I love the way he plays. I think he's really unguardable in every sense of the word. But it's just something missing. As a number 2 option, he'll be amazing. But I don't know. I just don't see it. But now we get to the NBA playoffs. Actually, before we get there, I do want to discuss the GOAT conversation. Now, Michael Jordan won 72% of the vote, which was I expected that. Do I think he's the GOAT? No. But I have no problem with people saying he's the GOAT. But second on that list and third on that list might surprise a lot of people. Or might make people a little bit upset. LeBron James was voted second over Kobe Bryant. So that means there is something that these players see in LeBron that they didn't see in Kobe. Kobe's Mamba mentality was amazing. You have to love it. Kobe's will to do anything to win, amazing. But I think people are starting to see that doesn't always translate to being the best. LeBron James could literally do everything better than Kobe could, except shoot the ball. Literally everything. And I think it's nice to see that people are acknowledging that finally. NBA players who play the game are starting to see that. But I just thought that was interesting. All my Kobe fans, I know y'all are going to be real mad about that. But it's whatever. But now I want to talk about the playoffs. The playoffs are starting on Saturday. It's going to suck that maybe Dwayne Wade might not be in the playoffs for his last year. That sucks. I would love to see that. But if everything stays how it is right now, then we're going to have some intriguing matchups. I think, well, let's start in the East. So we have the Bucks at 1, Toronto, Philadelphia, Boston, Indiana, Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic, and then the Detroit Pistons. Bucks Pistons, that's just going to be a tune-up. I think they'll get that series over in 4. So they'll be able to rest. Giannis will be able to get his ankle together. Malcolm Brogdon will still be able to, get ready for his second round matchup when he comes back and plays. So I think that'll be quick. Toronto and Magic, I'll say 4-1. I don't see it going any further than that. Kawhi is going to turn into the real Kawhi now. No more taking games off. He's going to play every night. Defense is going to be crazy. Offense is crazy. They got a closer. They got a very well-rounded team. Now, the 3-6 matchup is going to be interesting. The 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets. That's going to be the most intriguing first-round matchup in the East. I love what the Brooklyn Nets have done this year. And I think that they play so hard that they're going to take 2 games from the 76ers. Oh, and I forgot to add this. And another one of my most overrated players is Ben Simmons. This man has been in the league for 3 or 4 years. Cannot shoot a shot outside of 10 feet. He is really hurting his team. He can do all these other things. He's a good talent. But I don't understand what it is when people can't develop. He's still the same player he was when he came out of college. Now, Joel Embiid is a monster down there. And Jared Allen from the Brooklyn Nets, he's going to have his problems down there. But I just like the way that they play. So that's going to be intriguing. I'll give that a 4-2. And then the Celtics and the Pacers, I just feel like the Celtics can still get it together. I'm still that man holding out hope for the Celtics. I don't know why, but it's just something about that team's talent, man. You just can't deny it. But I'll tell you right now, I don't expect them to lose. I expect it to be 4-1 or 4-2 against the Indiana Pacers. But if they lose in the first round, Kyrie's definitely gone. Definitely. No question. So I cannot wait for Saturday and Sunday for these playoffs to start. This is what we've been waiting for all year. Now we're going to move to the Western Conference. From 6 to 9, there still can be movement for the Thunder, San Antonio Spurs, and the Clippers. It's only a half game separating all three of those. So if the Thunder lose tonight, they can end up in 8th. San Antonio loses, they can end up in 8th. And everyone is trying to avoid Golden State in the first round. But I actually think if the Thunder were to face the Warriors in the first round, I think it'd be closer than people think. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be a sweep or a 4-1. It wouldn't be a gentleman's sweep either. It'd be close. The switchability, the defense, Russell Westbrook is going to come out with a different attitude since he's been, considered the most overrated player. My only question mark would be Paul George. Playoff P, as he calls himself, has not performed well in the playoffs at all. Last playoff game I seen him in, he had like 4 points against the Jazz. Not going to get it done. But I think of the top three, the Warriors, Nuggets, and Rockets, I think the first round, people are going to want to play the Nuggets. I think the Spurs can beat the Nuggets. I think the Thunder can beat the Nuggets. And I think the Clippers will make it tough. The Nuggets had a great season, but I do not believe that they are a top team in the playoffs. Jokic really can't play defense. He's an okay rebounder. He can't really score when he wants. And that's not the type of star you need in the playoffs. I think Houston is gearing up. If they can win tonight, I think they can get that second seed. And then everyone they play but Golden State, they have to go through Houston. And that'll be tough. That'll be tough. But I do think the 4-5 is set. Portland and Utah. I don't know, man. I like Utah. I like their team. They have really good defense. But I just can't go against Dame and CJ. I just can't. They're just too talented, man. Too talented. But the Utah Jazz, when they're at home, sheesh, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So I don't know. I don't know about that. And honestly, I think people say this every year, but this is the most excited I've been to watch these matchups. There's no clear-cut winner in the West, I believe. I think besides Golden State and like San Antonio or LA. But besides that, every matchup is intriguing. What's also intriguing that this is going to be the first playoffs without LeBron. And I have a love-hate with that. LeBron is the biggest star we have in the NBA. But now we also get to watch other stars do what they do. So yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm really excited about this. Saturday, y'all know what I'll be doing. And Sunday, all day. So this is going to be, like I said, one of the best playoffs we've had in a while. And last but not least, I want to talk about the MVP. In the same anonymous poll that was taken, James Harden was voted, I think it was 44 or 43% of the players voted him the MVP winner. 39 was for Giannis. So it was close. It wasn't like it was just totally wrong. It was close. But I think the players understand more than the media how tough it is to play without your next two best players. And I've learned that every year the MVP changes based on who the people want to win. James Harden this year has done something that no one has ever done besides Wilt Chamberlain. He's on a different statistical bracket. Wilt has done everything. So he's done something that no one has ever done. With his two best players being injured for most of the run. The Rockets were in 14th at 11-14. They have won 40 games and have lost, 13? They've lost 14 games. So they went 40-14. 42-14. They've been 42-14. That's crazy. Now, of course, Giannis, great season. He has the easiest narrative for the MVP. Best player on the best team. Only 60-win team this year. I got all that. Averaging 27, 12, and 6. And I heard someone on TV say, who else could average 27, 12, and 6? And my retort was, 2 years ago, when James Harden lost the MVP to Russell Westbrook, he averaged 29, 11, and 8. 29, 11, and 8. But he still lost to Russell Westbrook, who did something historic. James Harden is doing something historic. Now, I understand everybody doesn't like the way he plays. Everybody doesn't, dribble, step back, dribble, foul, dribble. I got it. But to say a team who was in 14th, who could possibly be in second in the West, missing two of his best players in Chris Paul and Clint Capella, for over 20-something games. It's remarkable. LeBron James missed 18 games. They were in 4th. LeBron James missed 18 games, and they're like 12th. Chris Paul and Clint Capella missed over 20 games, and the Rockets have a chance to get the 2nd seed in the West. Now, I love what Giannis is doing. He could be the Defensive Player of the Year. I'll probably give him Defensive Player of the Year. But should he be the MVP? Should he be the MVP? No. Will I have a problem if he's the MVP? Nah, I won't have a problem. I'll be upset, but I won't be like, this is a disaster. This is the worst vote since yada, yada, yada. I don't do that because he deserves it. But there's no way, after what James Harden is doing, he can't get the MVP. So I think the players got it right. And last but not least, I want to do my end of season awards. I gave my mid-season awards earlier this year around All-Star break. And I want to get into the awards this season because I think it's really been a tough season. So let me get started with the awards. The first award I want to get into is one that during All-Star break, there could have been many different choices. But since All-Star break, this player has really showed how much he has improved. Showed, how much work he's put in. And this is for the most improved player. And I give that to Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. This guy has been such an important cog in what they do. Playing defense, being able to score, being able to create off the dribble, make the right play. This is something I did not see from him last year, or I did not see this coming from him last year. So I think that this is an easy award to give to him. The guy has been truly amazing. So he is definitely my most improved player. No problem. The next award I want to get into, Coach of the Year. And there's still 2 people that I would love to see get this award. Actually, it's still 3 coaches, but my Coach of the Year is going to go to Mike Budenholzer to bring that Milwaukee Bucks team from 7th to 1st in the East with 60 wins, best record in the NBA. Has done so much. He literally had the same team it was last year, and he's just taking them to do things that no one thought. They're like top 3 in defense and offense. Just an amazing team. And some of that credit has to go to the coach, Mike Budenholzer. Rookie of the Year. Even though Trae Young, since like February, has been on a tear, this is not rookie of 3 months. This is rookie of the full year. And that's going to go to Luka Doncic. I cannot wait to see what him and Kristaps are going to do. They are going to be a problem in the West. Doncic came in with the step back, game winners. Just a beautiful game. Great player. But like I said, that's easy. Easy. Sixth man of the year. This is easy as well. Lou Williams. He leads the team in points off the bench. He is just amazing. He's leading them to the NBA playoffs as a sixth man. Killing the game. Executive of the year. That's tough. I'll probably have to go with Masai Ujiri from the Raptors. Getting Kawhi Leonard, getting Danny Green. The development of the players, getting Marc Gasol. He's really put his team in great position to win the Eastern Conference. And I think it's not even close, really. Maybe Daryl Morey? Maybe. But I don't know. It's Masai Ujiri. Defensive Player of the Year. I have to go with Giannis. Rudy Gobert has been playing great defense. Joel Embiid's been an okay defensive player. But Giannis, man, he's just different. Great rim protector, can get steals. On-ball defense is pretty good, even though most of the time he doesn't guard the best player. He guards someone who can't really score so he can roam. Just throwing that out there for those of you who don't know, who have not watched the Bucks. He does not take the best player every game and lock them down. That's not what he does. He's a roamer. Like Kobe used to be. But still, great defensive player. I'm going to have to give him the Defensive Player of the Year. And then the most valuable, the MVP, James Harden. Not even a question. Giannis has had a great season, but I'm giving him Defensive Player of the Year, so I don't want to hear it. 14th to maybe second in the West. Averaging 36 points a game. 36 points a game. 36, 7, and 6, I think. Or 8 and 6. Something like that. Something ridiculous. Doing it without his two best players half of the season. Historic, one of the most historic runs ever. 30-plus games of 30-plus points. 60-point triple-double. 2 50-point triple-doubles. The man is just going crazy this year. And those are my awards. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, NBA playoffs are here. And the Masters starts this week as well. Just bad timing. Because NBA playoffs are here. Happy NBA playoffs to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.